You ready?
I've been ready, bro.
Let's do it. And then number 4, and we're here to talk about it. It is the height differential. That's the 6'6" Neil. I am the 4'10" Nick. Before we get in, quick reminder, if you're watching live or catching this later, subscribe to the height differential wherever you listen to pods. If you like the show, rate it and leave a review. It really does help people find it. And also a reminder to follow us on social at height differential. It's hard to believe we're already 68 down to 4. And it's a pretty good 4.
It goes by so quickly. Like, got 64 teams, and then a week later, week and 2 days later, we're down to 4.
Well, I mean, a week later, you're down to 16.
I know.
It does go very quickly. A lot of games, a lot of ball watching.
A lot of ball watching.
And Thursday and Friday, there were the Purdue game with Trey Kaufman's tip in at the buzzer was a really good game. Houston, seeing them getting beat at home didn't really play well. And Illinois took advantage of that.
Yeah, they couldn't shoot for anything in that game.
The St. John's Duke game, which I didn't get to watch a ton of because I was working the Louisville Kings game, but they led most of the way, and then Duke kind of got in a groove late and pulled away, and St. John's had a chance to tie it at the buzzer, and Darling, who had saved the day in the win against Kansas, his shot wasn't even close.
No, airball.
Barely did it graze iron, barely grazed iron.
Maybe.
And what else was the highlights of Thursday and Friday?
Nothing really. I mean, your Iowa State team that you thought was so great got beat by 14 to Tennessee and
didn't show up. Looked terrible. Couldn't make free throws down the stretch. You're missing, like, the loss of Jefferson is gonna look like it caught up with them a little bit, but
the surprise team of the tournament, probably the Iowa Hawkeyes, getting the victory on Thursday night over Nebraska and making that Elite Eight appearance.
Yeah, trailed most of the game against Nebraska, and then all of a sudden, in the final minutes, they just get up by 8-9 and cruise to victory. Nebraska throws 4 guys out there, and they go football pass over the four defenders for an easy score.
How do you let that happen?
And we've talked about it. Ben McCollum just doesn't lose in the tournaments until they finally did against Illinois.
If you're Fred Hoiberg, it's inexcusable to have 4 guys out there down 3, under a minute left to play, and you send 4 guys out there.
It's inexcusable on all parts. It's inexcusable on the coaching staff. It's inexcusable on the referees.
Why is it inexcusable? Why is it inexcusable on the referees? You can play with less than 5. But they don't. You can play with less than 5. They don't have to tell you.
They don't have to tell you. I think if they would have noticed it, I think they would have told them. I don't think they did notice it. But it's on the coaching staff. It's on the coaching staff, and it's
100%.
In that late of a situation, and I've seen people run 6 out there. I've never seen people run 4 out there, especially in an NCAA tournament Sweet 16 game where
the game is on the line. It's just not like it happened in the first half, Nick. This was down 3 with under a minute, like the most crucial time in the game. It's something I can't believe it. I would be furious if I was a Nebraska fan.
Yeah, you would. But you also just got your first 2 wins in NCAA tournament history, so might be a little excited about that. But you had an opportunity to play a 9 seed to get to the Elite Eight, and you didn't take advantage of it.
Yeah.
The St. John's loss to Duke really screwed my bracket up. I needed that one. I was keeping up with the score, saw they were up 10. I was like, all right, let's go. And end up Duke rallying to victory, and my bracket was so good in the first and second round, 95, 96 percentile, and then Sweet 16 Elite 8. I got the prices right. Your bid is over sound, as pretty much, and everything we talked about on the show last week was wrong too. We talked, at least me, from what I remember talking about, we got a lot of things wrong. I didn't think there was any way that Iowa State would lose to Tennessee.
We usually get a lot of things wrong.
I took a shot on St. John's beating Duke, and they clearly could have done it, had a chance. Just wasn't a very good week for me picking games after having a pretty good week in the first and second round.
But when we did our draft, our top 5 draft or 5-round draft, what if I'm correct, we both have 2 Final Four teams. Do
We
we not?
do. All 4 of the Final Four teams were in our 10-team draft. The highest picked team was Michigan. I picked them at 2. Then you picked UConn and Arizona at 4 and 5, and then I picked Illinois at 7. We both got
And the hilarious part
one of us is
is
gonna win a title.
you drafted Michigan. What was Michigan for you? And you picked Arizona to win the national title, which you could have had them in the draft if you wanted.
Right, but we both flipped.
We flipped.
So in my bracket, I picked Arizona to win it all. They are not on my team, and you picked Michigan to win it all.
Yeah.
And they're not on your team. I don't know. Nobody.
All I know is that Final Four, and we'll get into it, but that Final Four game, Michigan Arizona on Saturday, is going to be
it's going to be classic. But I think the game that we really need to get into to kind of start is the last one yesterday, Duke UConn. This is another one I picked wrong. The way UConn had been playing the last couple of weeks into the regular season, and kind of dealing with some injuries in the first 2 games with Silas Demery. I didn't think they really had a chance against Duke. And the first 35 minutes, 35 minutes.
It was all Duke.
It was all Duke. And after, the games on Saturday, they were close in the first half. Iowa led a lot of the way in the first half, but and Purdue did as well. But the second half,
7-6,
especially the Purdue game, Arizona took control. Late in the Illinois-Iowa game, Illinois took control.
Yeah.
And then just the blowout with Michigan. Like, you're thinking, I just want to see a close game going down the stretch. And it surely did not look like this was going to happen in Duke UConn. Duke was up 19 in the first half.
Yep.
They were up 17 with 17 minutes to go. They were up 14 with less than 12 minutes to go. And then they were up 9 with 5 minutes to go.
Up 9 with 5 minutes.
So the lead is dwindling. It's dwindling, but it's not dwindling at a fast rate. UConn was 1 of 18 from 3 to start the game. And you get under 2, and Duke still has a 5-point lead after Ngumba makes 1 of 2 free throws. And Caravan, who hadn't made a 3, comes down, misses. Ball gets an offensive board, sends him to the line on a foul, and he makes 1 of 2. And you're like, they're really not going to get in this game if they don't start making both free throws.
Correct.
And then Cam Boozer turns it over. He was handling the ball coming off the screen at the top of the key. Turns it over, which kind of opens the gate, and Caravan comes down and off a screen, hits a 3 to trim it to 1.
Yeah.
And now, it's here. And then Cam Boozer had just turned it over calmly, as calm as possible, gets into the lane and just easily flips it in for 2 to extend the lead back to 3.
Yeah.
And Cam Boozer's a guy who has won at every single level. How many times have we heard it? He never loses. He wins championships everywhere he goes. And you're just like, yeah, he turned the ball over there, but he's going to figure out a way to win this game.
Yeah.
And UConn calls timeout. Now there's 26 seconds to go after the Cam Boozer bucket. And Demery, on a switch, gets Boozer on him on the wing, draws a foul, and once again only hits 1 of 2.
1 of 2.
So now it's a 2-point game with 10 seconds to go. They do not call timeout. They inbound the ball. Boozer gets it. Forget who touches it second, but he eventually gets it to Caden Boozer, who tries to flip it over the defense. All it has to do, once he passed the ball, if it just clears them, the game's over. If he just holds it and dribbles, waits until they foul him, the game is pretty much over.
Yeah.
But instead, they turn it over. Caravan gets the ball. How cool, calm, and collected were they with the clock running down? Caravan gets the ball, finds Mullins for a 35-footer, and it just looked like that thing was.
The thing didn't even touch iron, just straight
as it left his hands.
Straight.
And everybody goes
swish. Straight swish. You could hear the sound of the swish on the TV. It was pure. But if you're Duke, 10 seconds left in the game, you don't even have to cross half court. You don't even, you just hold on to the ball. They did a good job getting it inbounds, passing it back to the inbounder, who then found Caden Boozer in the middle of the floor. Like they did everything exactly that they needed to for
Until
the first 5 seconds there. And you don't need to risk. I know the two guys were wide open in the other end of the court. You don't need to risk it. Just hold on to the ball. But John Shire, if you look at John Shire on the sidelines, he's pointing to the other end, basically telling his guy they're open, throw it to him. He tried it. It got deflected. I mean, maybe even just try a ball fake or something. I don't know. Anything than what you
well,
did.
everything's
But
running
just
a
well,
million miles an hour,
the smart play, and it's easy to say this now, but the smart play is just to hold on to the ball. Just hold on to it.
especially
Just hold
especially
like way
once
too
it
tight.
got to Caden Boozer.
I mean, and who do we know who had the arrow? So, like, even if they were to tie you up, like, even if you just held on to the ball and they tried to foul you and the ref calls a tie up, and if Duke had the possession, like, you just hold the ball, man. Just hold the ball and you're going to the Final Four.
Well, and look, they're not gonna get a tie up there anyways. They're gonna like just a foul puts you at
They
the line.
probably will call a foul, but in case they don't,
Just a foul puts you at the line. You make 2, the game's over. You make 3,
you make
there's a
one. You make
yeah.
one, it's a 3-point
Well,
game,
you
and
make 1, you can't lose,
right.
and unless we start doing this foul stuff where you walk them down and we bring all that to the equation, which we got into that plenty last week. But it's just before that moment, I talked about UConn being 1 of 18 from 3. Before Karaban hit his 3, he was 0 for 5. And before Mullins hit his 3, he was 0 for 4.
4. Yeah.
So those 2 guys, they finished after starting 1 for 18, they finished 5 of 23. So they were 4 for their last 5 from 3. But there's just so many ways that Duke can just do one thing and you can't lose. You can't lose.
It's great.
And just when you saw that ball get tipped, you're just like, "Oh, wow, this could really happen." And
And then he pulls one from 50 feet almost. Like, the
35,
shot was so deep.
35,
Whatever. You know what I mean.
dude,
Exaggeration, but
35 foot, and it's not even a heave. Like it's a
it's a
spot
set shot.
shot.
Yeah.
So I I would say he shoots that shot. He probably makes it 30% of the time, maybe a little higher than that.
I'd say maybe a little lower than that. I mean, that's
You think
deep,
maybe a
deep.
little?
I'd say
It's
2 out of 10.
deep,
I'd say
but dude,
20.
it ain't like these kids don't practice that all the time.
I mean, they practice up, like, half court shots and heaves, but I don't know, maybe 30% of the time. I mean, there was no contest on that shot. I mean, he had clear view, no hand in his face or anything like that, so maybe he does make it 30% of the
No,
time.
and look, I give Alex Caravan a lot of credit for just being so calm in that situation. He easily could have took that shot where he was being defended a little closer,
Yeah.
and instead he looked to his left and found Mullins, and the rest is history. But dude, have you? And then this video comes out of John Shire before the game where he's showing his team the way that the Chicago Bulls handle an in the game situation where they're up 2. And basically, Trey Jones of the Bulls is kind of falling out of bounds with the clock winding, and he just takes it and throws it straight up in the air and just lets the clock end. I remember when I was a kid, Magic Johnson doing something like that, where he just kind of flipped it and just let the clock run out while the ball's flying through the air.
Yes.
So the ironic thing is they had just talked about in the game situations and things you can do. If Caden Boozer just takes that ball and just throws it straight up in the air and towards the
I
other
think there
end,
would have been enough time for UConn to grab it and shoot it. There was over 5
but there was
seconds.
nobody down
There was
there.
over 5 seconds when he turned it over.
There was nobody down there
Down where?
at the other end. It was just Duke guys.
I mean, he tried to throw it down there. What do
Yeah,
you I mean,
but
you
I'm
talking
just
about
saying if you just throw it straight up in the air, you're not even trying to get it to your guys.
no, correct. If you just
And
throw it straight up in the air, it's gonna come down probably with about 2 seconds left. So UConn would still theoretically have a chance at it.
but
But
I mean, dude, you look at these numbers. Caravan finished with 5 points. 5 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Was like I said, he's 1 of 6 from 3. Chris Reed was their entire team, had 26 points and 9 rebounds. Like they just did not shoot the ball well. And just I don't know what it is. This UConn team, they're 18-0, Sweet 16 and beyond since 2011, meaning every single time they've made it to the Sweet 16 since 2011, they have won a national title.
That's just,
And
which is
to
what,
win
four?
that
How many is it?
game,
Four titles.
4 titles, and to win 3 different coaches, it's just it's all insanity.
It's insanity.
But to figure out a way to win that game, I don't even understand it. Like, you didn't play your best game. You have one player who really showed up, and then all of a sudden, at the end of game situations, you make everything you put up,
So
except your free throws. They
would you
still
call
missed all the free throws.
this more of UConn came in and won it, or more of Duke choked it?
Duke opened the door, but UConn won it.
I mean, get this. So in Duke's last 4 losses, right, including last night. Last night they led by 19. The Carolina game they lost earlier this year, they led by 13. The Texas Tech game they lost earlier this year, they led by 17. And then the Final Four last year against Houston led by 14. There's a
And
pattern going on here. Their last 4 losses, and you're leading by that much in every game. I mean,
well,
John Fire's got to fix it. You got to fix it.
and we've given him a lot of credit on this show. At some point, when you've got the talent that you're putting together, you got to find a way to finish it.
Yeah.
And when you're up 17 in the second half, you should be able to finish that game. I don't care who you're playing. And it's not like UConn shot the hell out of it to get back in the game. They didn't just start raining threes to get back in the game. It was a slow, casual grind where they just were chipping away.
Got some stops, and yeah.
And I think it dates back even farther than that with Shire's teams and Duke in the tournament blowing leads. I don't remember off the top of my head who they lost to the year before they lost to Houston in the Final Four. But if memory serves, I think it was another kind of blown lead in the same situation. But I don't know. Like, how are Duke fans reacting to this? Because you know how the rest of the country is. They're elated that Duke lost in this manner. Are Duke fans getting tired of their team blowing these leads and figuring out ways to lose games they shouldn't be losing?
I mean, I feel like they are. I mean, I don't think it's, maybe they do criticize Shire because of the trend that's going on, but obviously he's a good coach. They get the talent there. They win a bunch of games. They're the number 1 overall seed. They have a great season. They're back-to-back ACC regular season and tournament champions. So they're on the right path, but man, it's just like when the pressure is there, they just, for some reason, they fold.
Well, at some point it becomes a trend.
I mean, it's getting that way. Yeah. I'm trying to
And
look
you
up the
talked
year
about
before on Duke.
Yeah, keep looking that up. But it happened several times this year. It happened last year when they needed it most. And they've only been to one Final Four in Shire's 4 years. Did you find it?
Yep, it was the Final Four. Or was to go to the final. Was it the regional final? Sorry, Elite 8. The magical run of the NC State Wolfpack.
They lost to them twice, didn't
They
they?
beat Duke. They beat Duke 76-64 in the Elite 8. And yeah, I mean, Duke lost to them in that ACC tournament. But yeah, 76-64. So as a 4 seed, Duke makes the run to the Elite 8. All they have to do is beat the 11 seed NC State. But the magic that was NC State that year carried them to the Final Four.
Well, dude, and you talk about trends. Look at the trend the other way. Another team, once they get to the Sweet 16, they never lose.
Yeah.
They never lose.
Yeah.
18-0 in Sweet 16 and beyond is just
It's
an
ridiculous.
asinine number.
It's ridiculous.
And I looked at it. UConn's plus 650 to win the whole thing. And do I think they have the best team of these 4? Absolutely not. Do they think they have the talent to where they can match up and win? Yeah. And
I mean,
when you've got
I
that
don't think
history,
they're as
like,
talented as
I'm mad at myself for not thinking about that when doing my bracket.
Well, they lost to Marquette at the end of the year, Nick. Like, let's be real.
Well,
They
and I
lost to
also
Marquette.
watched them get rolled by
They got
Creighton,
rolled
who
by
wasn't
St.
very
John's.
good.
They got rolled by St. John's again. They've lost, like
They also rolled St. John's once.
they did once, yeah. But I mean, they struggled a little bit at the end of the year. And I mean, when we had that debate of who the last number 1 seed was going to be. We're talking about Florida and UConn, and this was, mid-February, and I was all in on UConn, and they go out and they start losing games. I was like, ugh, and that was a bad pick. But here they sit again. It's Danny Hurley, man. Give him some credit. He's
Dude's all
a
all
psycho.
up.
He's a
He
psycho,
is
but
the man's jacket is halfway off his arm. He's not headbutting, he's, like, leaning his head up against the official.
wasn't it Roger? Was that Roger Ayers?
I think it might have
It
been.
looked like Roger. He's forehead to forehead. He's not even saying anything to Roger Ayers. He's just put his forehead on his forehead. Like, what is going on?
Just from talking to people that in the industry that knows, like, the SIDs, the sports information directors that's worked with him, just you think he's a maniac on the court? Working with him as his sports information director, another level of
Oh, I'm
maniac.
sure.
The
I'm
dude,
sure.
he's got one good quality. Well, he's got a lot of good qualities because
He's a
he's a good
Bengals fan.
basketball coach. He's a Bengals fan.
Yeah, he's one of us.
Yeah, and became a Bengals fan just because he liked the uniforms when he was a kid, when they played in the Freezer Bowl in
I respect
1982.
that. I respect that.
Just continued his Bengal fandom. We saw him be the ruler of the jungle, one of the season openers after they had won their second national title.
Yeah.
But one other thing, I don't know, did you see or hear the Duke's radio team call
Yeah.
of the last play?
Is this when they wanted a technical foul?
Yes.
Yeah.
But first off, they're doing the call, and it gets out the end, bounds the ball. Caden Boozer's got it. Oh, it's tipped. It goes in. Oh, Malachi Smith is on the court. That should be a technical. Hey, let me tell you, Malachi Smith was on the court because he was one of the 5 playing defense.
But also, the officials blew the whistle as soon as the ball went in because they were going to go check the time. So the whistle was blown. All of 13 guys on that bench could be on the court, and there's not going to be a technical foul. Like, come on, dude. I mean, I get it. Like, you're distraught.
No, that's you. I don't get it. That is so weak.
No, like, you're shocked.
That is so weak.
No, you're shocked and you're distraught. And you're just grasping at anything that you can
Stop
think
it.
of. Try to get talk yourself into thinking that what just happened didn't happen.
Stop it. If you flip that and, like,
no, I'm not saying
Boozer hit that shot to go up 3.
It's dumb.
And then,
but he's just trying to think of anything he can to somehow rationalize that his team can still win the game, and even though they couldn't.
It's lame.
It's lame. It is lame.
And the dude's on the court. Like, you're trying to get a dude popped for playing defense and being on the court. Moron. It was the 6th game-winning shot in the final second of Elite 8. The first one was Bob Heaton of Indiana State against Arkansas. I guess that's with Larry Bird's team. I've never heard of Bob Heaton, but he did that in '79. The other 5 have all been since 1990.
Well, we all know Leitner.
And I'll go ahead and give you this. Leitner did it twice. He did it in the most famous one ever in history against UK in 1992. He also did it against UConn in 1990. And then, obviously, Braylon Mullins yesterday. Do you know who the other two are?
Did Cameron Mills have one somewhere along the line for Kentucky? Or no?
It wasn't a game winner. Him and Scott Padgett hit a bunch of big threes in the comeback against Duke in 1998.
I remember Patrick Sparks had the one to send it to overtime in the Elite 8.
That was against Michigan State.
Yeah, Michigan State in 05.
One of them was against Kentucky.
Oh, Luke May.
Luke May from UNC in 2017.
Yep, I remember
and
Luke
then
May.
Scotty Reynolds did it for Villanova in 2009. Oh, and we were talking, like, where does this rank on some of the biggest, best buzzer beaters in the history of the NCAA tournament? Just from everything that led up to it, and it's beating Duke. Like, I know Carl, we're on a text thread today, and he's saying it ranks 17th all time in the NCAA tournament history. That's an absolutely ludicrous number.
Well, Carl's an idiot. We all know this. It's Carl. He just says a lot of dumb stuff.
It doesn't, like, Leitner's shot will always be number 1. It will always be number
I
one.
don't think so, man. There's no way that you can put any other shot above Chris Jenkins in the Villanova game national championship game winner. It won them an actual title.
Well, if you miss it, you're going to overtime. It's not the make it or lose situation.
What are you talking about? Yes, it is. It won a national championship. It won the
Tie
championship.
game.
What?
And I will like
I don't care if it was a tie game. It won the championship.
Jay Wright's reaction to that one. It might be the coolest reaction in the history of sports.
You look like he didn't
He
even
just
care.
watches it go in
He didn't even
and
look like
just
he cared.
doesn't even smile. Just starts walking to shake hands. No, it's up there. It's up there.
number one. It is by far the number one buzzer beater shot in NCAA tournament history. It's the only one that I can remember, and I'm pretty sure it's the only one that has actually won a title.
What do you mean it's the only one you can remember?
That has won a title. It probably is the only
Okay.
one that has actually won a title.
Well, Jordan's won a title, but it wasn't at the buzzer.
This was straight at the buzzer.
Keith Smart's, was that at the buzzer?
That was close. Yeah, that was close.
And that was to win the title.
Yeah.
Yeah, some other ones like the Ty Sedney shot always stands out. And that was a second round game against Missouri, but they eventually won the title where he went the length of the court in like 2-something.
Yeah.
Will always stand out.
The Bryce Drew. I mean, that was the first
shot.
the Bryce Drew where they dive on the floor on that perfectly executed play. That was cool.
The Bryce Drew shot.
I mean, that was because it was Valpo.
Jalen Suggs shot for Gonzaga.
That was Final Four. Yeah.
Yeah.
The COVID Final Four. Yeah.
So I think this is top 5.
I would put. I'm okay with putting it in the top 5.
I think it's top 5.
And like,
And
what
just
a moment! Like, if you're an 18-year-old kid like Braylon Mullins, like you're an 18-year-old kid and you just hit a top 5 shot in NCAA tournament history. Like the kind of stuff. Like he's from Indiana, and like Indiana prides himself on being a basketball state. And you picture like the Larry Birds of the world with their baskets on the barn doors and stuff out on the farm, and like you practice these moments. You count down in your head, 3, 2, 1, and you shoot that shot in your backyard, pretending like you're in the NCAA tournament, and this kid just lives it out in his first year.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's. And then there's a picture of everybody reacting to it. It's got Bill Murray's in the picture, the whole Hurley family. His mom's reaction.
Hurley's mom dropping some F-bomb. Yeah.
Her reaction to the shot going in. Like, this is when what looked like it was kind of be really just 4 games that weren't that great, especially after watching that beatdown of Michigan on Tennessee. And you're just kind of dejected. Like, this has kind of been a letdown. And then all of a sudden that becomes a game, and it becomes one of the most iconic games that we've seen in a long time in the NCAA tournament. And Dan Hurley and UConn just figure out a way to do it again. The 3 games in the East Regional, we talked about how loaded this could be a Final Four in itself. Duke wins by 5 against St. John's. UConn wins by 3 against Michigan State, and then UConn wins by 1 over Duke. It's the only region ever to have 3 games decided by 5 points or fewer, and then have a game-winning shot at the last second to decide who goes on to the Final
The East
Four.
I mean, it lived up to the hype. There's no doubt. The East region lived up to the hype that we all expected it to, and that we thought it could. And yeah, the quality of teams and coaches battling it out. It was a lot of fun to watch.
But I mean, I know we both think Michigan and Arizona is going to win the whole thing. Like, you got Michigan, I got Arizona. Who like at this point? Is UConn ever going to lose once they get to this level again?
I think they win. I think they win on Saturday over Illinois. They keep doubting Illinois, and they keep showing up and playing well. But I got UConn to win on Saturday, and obviously I've got Michigan to win on Saturday as well. But I mean, I don't think UConn's as talented as some of these other as the Arizonas and Michigans of this Final Four. So I think they eventually will run out of their magic and lose in the final. I don't know. Every time I feel like I doubt somebody,
I
they prove
know.
me
I
for
know. Like, I'm serious. I did not think UConn had a chance against Duke. Like, I thought St. John's was gonna be their tough game. Once they figured that out, I was like, "Alright, they're gonna cruise to the Final
well, they
Four."
were cruising, Nick. They were cruising.
And then, yeah, thought I was right for 30, 35 minutes. And at that point, my bracket was busted anyway, so I didn't care, and I would like to see a close game, and we got it. We got it. We did not get it in the game before
No,
as Michigan rolls by 33 over Tennessee. Was the largest win in a regional final since Michigan did it in 1989 against Virginia. They won by 37. And that team did go on to win a national title. They beaten PJ Carlissimo's Seton Hall Pirates. Looked up that roster. I didn't remember a single guy. Like, I didn't recognize a single guy on that Seton Hall team. That was the year that Glenn Rice had 20 plus points in all 6 games of the tournament. I think he's the only player to ever do that. But Yaxel has now done it in 3 games. Was named the regional's most
he's so
valuable
good.
player.
He's so good.
Yeah, Michigan has now won 11 games by 30 points or more. Yeah, and another one for Yaxel. He's the first Michigan player to score at least 23 points in 3 consecutive games since Juwan Howard did it in 4 straight in 1994. Good on Tennessee, man. 3 straight Elite Eights. Was an up and down season for them. They figured out how to win 3 games in a row once they got to the tournament. Rick Barnes can coach, but they were not a match for this Michigan team from the tip.
Not from the tip. I mean, they were
Yeah, I
up.
mean,
What was it like? Around 1918 or somewhere around there, and all of a sudden Michigan goes on a 20-0 run, like or 21. I think it was a 21-0 run from that point. They were down. Michigan was down 1 about midway through the first half, and then a 21-0 run just all but ended it right there.
and then just cruise the rest of the way.
Yeah, yeah.
We've been talking about this since December, January. How Michigan doesn't just beat teams; they put
Pound
them
you.
to bed
Yeah,
and just continue to roll. And they're doing this without their backup point guard. Like, I thought missing LJ Casey would be a factor for this team, and maybe it still will, but it doesn't look like it right now. But like you said, this game on next Saturday, the late one is going to be fun to watch. The the games on Saturday, Purdue led most of the way in the first half, and this is a game against Arizona where you thought maybe Purdue's experience, they could utilize that and maybe pull off an upset. People forget who the preseason number 1 team was.
Purdue.
It was
I mean,
Purdue.
they had the preseason player of the year, Braden Smith. They had another All-American and Trey Kaufman-Renn, and yeah, I mean they had all the hype as they should have. Yeah, I
So
mean they were all right. I mean they had an up and down season, mostly ups, but finished what 6th or 7th in the
I
Big
don't know
Ten.
about mostly ups. Their end of the regular season was, I mean, they finished what 6-6 in their last 12 games.
Yeah, but I mean, sure, but then you run through the Big
This,
Ten tournament, you beat Michigan, you run through
yeah,
the Big Ten tournament, you win the Big Ten tournament, you're a 2 seed. So I mean, it's a good season. It's mostly ups when you're a 2 seed and you win a Big Ten championship.
yeah, and that core of Fletcher Lawler and Trey Kaufman and Braden Smith. I mean, what a run for that group. 4 NCAA tournaments, 3 Sweet 16s, 2 Elite Eights, and a trip to the title game. Their goal, they said at the beginning of the year, was it's win title or bust. And just by the time they got to this point of the season, they just weren't at the same level as Michigan and Arizona, even though they beat Michigan in the Big
Yeah.
Ten title game. They weren't at that level really
They were
consistently.
playing some of their best ball down the
They
stretch.
were. It also took a miracle tip in to get to that game at the buzzer.
They did.
Um, but yeah, what Arizona went on, what, a 16-3 run. Like we just talked about the run that Michigan went on to kind of erase what Purdue was up by 7 points at halftime,
Yeah,
and they changed that
outscored
to
by 18.
a
Yeah,
6-point lead. Uh, Del Orso hit a 3. Braden Burris hit another one. Braden Smith turned it over, and really just down the stretch, it wasn't much of a game. They held Purdue to its second lowest point total of the season, and Purdue shot just 38% from the field. Koa Pete was amazing and was named their regional player of the tournament, and he joins Con Knippel, Zion Williamson, and Derrick Rose as the only freshman to score 20 plus in the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 game in the last 25 years. So, I mean, dude, we've talked about all season how many good freshmen there are, and we're going to see a lot of them in this Final Four. The other one was Illinois, Iowa. Was a good game. Iowa led most of the way in the first half, but then Illinois' length really just kind of just wore down Iowa. They out rebounded them 38-21 and outscored them 40-12 in the paint. It was really just too much for them. Just yeah, Bennett starts. It's just that dude went from D2 from Northwest Missouri State to Drake and got his team the Elite 8. That in itself, I think, is pretty dang impressive.
Yeah, no, great story.
And Ben McCollum, dude, once he starts getting some dudes, because it was clear that they were out-talented, and they were out-talented in the Florida game and figured out a way to win it. But they were out-talented, outsized, and eventually Illinois was just able to pull away. That, dude, and the metrics say that Illinois really has been a top 5, 6, 7 team all year. They lost 4 overtime games from February. They were 0-4 in overtime games. I mean, a couple of those flipped. They easily could have been on the 2 line and maybe even mentioned on as that last number 1. So really, and then they lose to Wisconsin in the Big Ten tournament, which I think brought them down maybe a seed line, but a really good 3 seed.
Yeah, no, they're a good, very good team.
So, and now we have what, 2 1s, a 2, and a 3.
Yep.
So nobody worse than a 4 in the Final Four. Before these past 2 years, the Final Four had at least one team seeded 4 or worst every year dating back to 2010. And in the 4 tournaments after the COVID shutdown, there was a team seeded 8th or worse in all 4 of those Final Fours. But in the last 2, it's just
we had what? We had all ones. We have all ones last year.
Last year was all 1s, and then this year's 2 1s, a 2, and a 3. So another example of
is Cinderella dead?
And look, we talked about this being a little different. Like, Cinderella doesn't have to get to the Final Four to be a Cinderella. Sometimes you just win 1 game, you can be a Cinderella, but it's another trending factor where you're not seeing these high seeds in the tournament after it became pretty commonplace for it to happen. So with all the transfer portal stuff, we have 3 guys in the Final Four that have played for a competing team in the Final Four. Can you name all 3 of them?
Let's see.
The only team that doesn't have one is Arizona. So Arizona does not have anybody on their team that formally competed for one of the remaining Final Four teams.
Yaxel came from what, Tulane or something like that? UAB. And Cadeau came from Carolina.
Yep. It's not easy.
I don't know.
Like, there's so much movement.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it.
So, Morez Johnson, he's a sophomore. Last year, he spent his freshman year at Illinois. Terrace Reed, a senior, has been at UConn the last 2 years. He spent his first 2 years at Michigan. And Colin Boswell, a senior at Illinois, has been there for 2 years, spent his first 2 years at Arizona.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I was looking really hard trying to find somebody on Arizona that had played for one of these teams.
No,
3 out of 4. So I guess getting into Saturday, you've already kind of said, do you think UConn will beat Illinois? Or?
Yeah, I'm gonna go UConn in this one. I don't know, like they've been a good team all year. They struggled, like we said, at the end when they lost to Marquette and lost to St. John's twice and all that. But beginning of the year, they were really, really good. They've got the talent. I'm not going against. I mean, when it comes to a Final Four, I'm taking the experience of a Hurley over the inexperience of an Underwood, who's not been there before. So give me UConn in this one, in a close game, though.
Dude, if I just look at numbers and the way teams are playing, other than the fact that UConn keeps winning, it's Illinois. UConn has not shot the ball well. They didn't shoot the ball well on Sunday until
Illinois
the
didn't shoot the
final
ball Illinois didn't
2
shoot the ball
minutes.
well
But
against
that was
Iowa.
kind of our knock on UConn. They haven't been shooting the ball well from perimeter. They start off Sunday's game shooting 1 of 18, end up hitting, 4 in the last couple of minutes to figure out a way to win.
Yeah.
Illinois ranks offensively second in the country. They don't turn the ball over.
Well, they shot
They
18% from 3 the other day, so
Yeah,
better
and
shoot them
that's
better
why
than
they can do that and still win because they don't turn the ball over. They get offensive rebounds. They rank 3rd in the country in offensive rebounding percentage. They don't give the ball away. They give extra shots, which allows you, when you shoot that poorly from 3, it makes up for that. And that's why they rank 2nd in the country in offense. They're deep. They got it. And then Keaton Wagler is just, the dude has gone from being somebody that got recruited by 2 D1 programs, 3 D1 programs, was ranked in the 200s, and now he's moved his way into being a lottery pick. But
that's a great story.
But despite all this, I can't pick against UConn right now. They don't lose.
They don't lose.
No matter what, they don't lose. And this is going to be their jinx and probably be the one they lose because I'm finally on board with it. Like, if you're 18-0, who's like, you can't tell me they ain't going to go 19-0.
I mean, I wouldn't bet against it.
I appreciate you crunching ice in the middle of the pod. Just crunching ice over there.
It's not even that loud.
Would you have some respect for the 4 or 5 people that listen to this every week?
Not even that loud.
Oh, it's loud.
It's not loud.
Apologize to the people.
I will not. I was thirsty.
Ken Palm also ranks Illinois as the tallest team in the country.
They are a tall team. You got Page's kid on there. Why is he coming off the bench? Has he come off the bench most all year?
They're deep. Yeah, he's their 6th guy. And, like, you look at Page, like, he's good. Like, this kid can shoot it. But when he gets on the wing and he takes off and tries to get to the rim, it's like every single time. Every single time. That's going to be a fun game, too. Like, obviously, you get to this level. It's going to be fun.
It's the appetizer to the main course.
Yeah, we were just talking about, as we're watching Michigan just put it on Tennessee yesterday, just how fun this Michigan-Arizona game is going to be. And there is a part of you that kind of wishes that they reseeded when they get to this point, maybe a little bit. But then you're not guaranteed this game. Then maybe it gets taken away.
It's true.
So we are going to see this game. We are guaranteed it. Are you sticking with your Michigan pick?
1,000%. Never been more sure of anything in my life after watching them destroy Tennessee yesterday. Absolutely. Like, Yaxel will have his way. Give me the Wolverines.
They've scored 90 points in every game.
Every game. Give me the Wolverines.
They're the first team to do that through the Elite Eight since UConn did it in 1995. So there's a little precedent there for figuring out a way to lose after scoring 90 points in the first 4 games. But, I mean, dude, I picked Arizona in my bracket. I think this game's going to be incredible.
You got to stick with it, right?
Oh, dude, they've lost 2 games, and they could have figured out a way to win both of them. This team is not that far away from being undefeated.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Braden Burries has been one of my favorite guards all year to watch. They've been number 1 in the AP, 19 of 25 polls this season. They've won all their tournament games by at least 12 points. The one thing about Arizona And we've kind of talked about this. They rank 363rd nationally in the amount of three-pointers that they shoot. Only 26% of their shots are from three-point land. And just the way that basketball is in this day and age, it's rare.
It's
It's
very rare.
just
Yeah.
and to put that in perspective, Alabama leads the country in the percentage of their three-point shots or their shots being three-pointers. Do you know what their percentage is compared to Arizona's 26?
What their actual what? Like
Their a percentage of their shots being three-pointers.
it's got to be close to 50ish. We're gonna go like 49%.
54% of Alabama shots are from deep.
54. Okay.
So we're talking about Arizona team that a quarter of their shots, a little bit more than a quarter of their shots are from three, but they really just emphasize paint touches. They'll kill you on the glass, just like Illinois. I mean, Tommy Lloyd in his first 5 years, he's got 2 Pac-12 titles, a Big 12 title, 2 Pac-12 tourney titles, a Big 12 title. He's won Coach of the Year twice. Give me the Wildcats, man. They've been up top all year, and this is a clash of the Titans. There's no doubt about it. It's a game we've been looking forward to all season long.
I just feel like these are the type of game, like these are the type of teams and the type of games where Michigan is at their best. Like they've absolutely destroyed good teams this year.
Well, we watched them lose to Duke in DC.
One time.
Well, you just said they show up in big games, and then
I mean, they went after that
Arizona's
Players
lost
Era
twice.
tournament.
They
They went
lost to
after the
Kansas
Players
and
Era
Texas Tech.
tournament and just hammered Gonzaga by 40. You know, they hammered every team they played out there by a ton. They've lost one regular season Big Ten game.
Well, and Neil, I already talked about how many times they've won by 30-plus points.
You win an Elite Eight game. When you win an Elite Eight game by 32, 33 points, like they're showing up. Give me the Wolverines and give them to me by 7. Michigan by 7.
Well, I will. If you want to give me that, I will take it all day.
I know you will.
You're giving me 7 points?
I think Michigan wins it by 7. I mean,
Give
I know
me
it's a
that.
spread, but I think that's what happened.
No, it's not the spread. But yeah,
What is
give
it,
me
1.5?
that.
What is it, 1.5? I think I saw.
If I was good at preparing for this show, I would already know that off the top of my head. I do not.
Earlier today, it was Michigan by 1.5.
It is 1.5, and then Illinois is 2.5 point favorites over UConn.
All right, so you're going Zona.
I'm going UConn, Zona.
Okay.
And then I know I'm picking Connecticut simply because they don't lose, because I do think Illinois is a better team, but I'm picking Arizona to beat them. So my whole philosophy just goes out the window. And
it does go out the window in that championship, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I think the winner of Saturday, if it's Arizona or if it's Michigan, I think that's going to be your national champion.
But then again, I'm just like, dude, if UConn figures out a way to get the title game, are they really going to lose when they get that far? Because they don't. They never lose these games. They never lose these games.
That's true.
And it doesn't matter who's coaching. You could coach UConn. You get them to the Sweet 16, they're going to figure out ways to win. Now, I don't know if you can get them to the Sweet 16 because Kevin Ollie couldn't figure out how to do it after he did it once. But if you can get them to the Sweet 16, they ain't going to lose.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of talk about Tommy Lloyd to North Carolina. Are they going to wait? Can you wait that long? The portal opens like the day after the national championship. I don't know. If I'm for him, I'm staying. I get it's North Carolina. You're already at Arizona, one of the more prestigious schools. It's Illinois' first Final Four since 2005 when they lost to North Carolina in the title game.
Because they beat the Cards. Yeah.
Yep. After the Cards beat Pittsnoggle in the Elite Eight.
And they had an epic comeback against Arizona in that Elite Eight game. Illinois did. They were down. God, they were down like 8 in the final minute before D. Brown and Luther Head and the rest of the gang decided to start making some shots and getting some stops. And yeah, it was a miracle that they ended up in that Final Four.
And Arizona's first Final Four since 2001, which is kind of hard to believe.
That is hard to believe.
But we're down to 4. On the women's side, like all these games kind of late have just kind of all been not very close. Like, Duke kept it close with UCLA for about
Wow.
30 minutes, and then
Yep.
UCLA kinda just put it on them at the end of the buzzer, but the rest of these games the Final Four in the women's game and South Carolina's gonna win tonight. It's gonna be all number ones.
TCU's hanging in. They're hanging in right now. Up one.
What's
Up one, 22-21. 6 minutes to go until half.
is South Carolina probably a clear 4th best of those ones, I would say,
Yes. Yes.
but it's likely gonna be all ones, I would think,
Yeah.
and even if it's not, but just the games next week in the women's Final Four are gonna be great as well.
Fantastic.
I mean,
Who
God,
matches up
that
with who? Do you know who matches up with who? Yeah, I think it's
uh,
UConn. I guess UConn, South Carolina. It would be UCLA and Texas. I believe is how that shapes out. How that works out.
are you 100% on that?
Yeah, because UConn's the overall number one, right? And South Carolina was the last. They were the fourth one.
That's the way it should work. Yeah, UConn yeah, UCLA, Texas, and UConn would play South Carolina or
I
TCU,
mean, I
but
was expecting it to be a walk for UConn and UCLA to the title game, and I still expect it to be for UConn. But the way Texas has looked, where they just absolutely destroyed South Carolina in the SEC title, and then beat a Michigan team in the Elite Eight by almost 40.
yeah,
I
a
mean,
team that Louisville just lost to 20 by.
yeah, they held Michigan to what, 41 points tonight? Incredible. So Texas is absolutely balling out. And then you look at UCLA, and they've been absolutely destroying teams until Duke hung around with them. So maybe Texas is better than I thought. UCLA, a little chink in the armor, maybe with that close game to Duke. That one's gonna be a pretty good game. And then UConn will just hammer whoever that is by 20 in the
See
championship.
how early they can make Gino do media, once they get to Phoenix. Tell him he's gotta show up at 6:30, and the balls are gonna be Super Bowl
Overinflated,
bouncy balls.
overinflated balls,
Yeah.
6:30 press conferences. Gino can take a nap. Get him up early. He can take a nap after lunch. He'll be fine.
I just love it, the rants, dude. I just love it. And look, when you're Gino, you can do whatever you want because you've now been to 18 of 19 Final Fours, which is it's just not even real. It's just automatic.
Yeah. I mean, I
But
feel like
him
he's
complaining about them not getting to play close to home when they've played at Albany so many times when they're not even the 1 seed,
not buying
get
that.
out of here.
Yeah,
You
you got no
you
sympathy
got to
for me
play
on that.
you got to play NC State as a 1 and Louisville as a 1 when you're at 2 in Albany.
Yeah, no sympathy for me on the locations of the Elite Eight of the
Now,
regionals.
should there be better ways to do it maybe than having media at 7:30? Maybe, but when you have 1 regional site, you only got so much time.
Especially when there's
And
games that day. Yeah. I don't know. No sympathy for me on that. I mean, I just feel like, are there more rants from women's basketball coaches? I mean, I feel like there's a lot more than there is on the men's side. Like UCLA's Corey Close she was ranting about having to get up early and do media as well.
well,
Coaches just don't like getting up.
she's
What I'm
just
gathering is
tired, man.
coaches don't like getting up early.
She's just tired, Neil. Would I rather be chilling on the couch watching TV instead of doing this right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably, but,
What time you get up for
you
work
know
in the morning?
oh, that alarm goes off at 7:14.
Okay. So if you had a 7:30 press conference, you probably wouldn't complain about it because, most normal humans get up and go to work at 7:30 in the morning. Unless you're a basketball coach, then it's too early. But
Well, basketball coaches get up so early, like, they're used to it.
what are they
They don't
crying about?
basketball coaches don't
What is
sleep.
what are Gino and Corey what are they crying about?
Well, Gino mainly was crying about the fact that they weren't making any shots too. Like, from 3-point range, like, all the games, everybody was, like, 2 for 16, 1 for 18, 3 for 20, like, no shots were going in, and when you're trying to grow the game and get people to watch it
What do you want him to do? Like make the basket bigger? I mean,
no, look, and that's just he's saying that the balls are too inflated. I don't buy it. The referees are testing those balls before they put them in play. Just their shots weren't going in. And look, I want the game to grow and I want these games to be great. But when there's 3 teams, 4 teams that are clearly a lot better than the rest of the field and these games are all going to be 20, 30-point games, it doesn't create the greatest product. And when once you get to this point. But now next week it should be really good games.
I just
Look,
can't.
and when Louisville, look, when that 2018, when we had Asia Durr and Maisha Hans Allen, and we're rolling everybody to get to the Final Four, you think I was complaining?
No,
No. Like,
nobody
just
was.
get out of our way. And then you get to that Final Four, and it's 4 number ones, just like it's probably going to be this year. And all of the games were fantastic. It's just the games leading up to it, especially once you get past some of those first round games where you're getting the top level competition against some lower level competition. The games they're not always the best product. And that's the next step in women's college basketball. The parity has gotten better, but now maybe NIL and transfer portal separated a little more back to where it was. But this year, I think there's 3 teams that are a lot better than everybody else, and maybe 4 if you include South Carolina too.
Correct. And that's the way it usually is.
It is. You missed opening day last week.
I know.
So went down with the big dog. Dude, we walk into Plum Street Cafe, which is the tradition.
Great
It's the
spot.
Tony Brown family tradition that
Did
we
you
have
get
now
did you get the
taken
grilled
apart.
cheese? Get the grilled cheese and chili?
Let me just tell you, we walk in there
Okay.
and there's 2 Budweiser girls. And they're like, "Hey, you take a picture, we'll give you a free Budweiser."
Are they in the picture
And we're
with you?
like,
Did you take
"Where?"
a pic? Are they in the picture with you?
No, it was just me and the big dog, his father-in-law, Mike.
Did
We're
you ask them?
they give us the little white picture frame, that you gotta hold,
Yeah.
which when there's height differentials, the white picture frame makes it a little challenging because it's hard to get everybody in there. But we pose, we get our free bud. So it was great. And then if you buy another bud, they gave you some gifts. We got some hats, some koozies, and stuff like that. Keychain, bottle opener. So chilling at Plum Street, and then we go down to the game. But it was just Tony's son got his first Reds opening day, so it was a great experience for him. Dude was sitting on the second row on the third baseline, got a ball thrown to him.
What an experience for the little dog.
And then he ends the night at Twin Peaks.
So you go into so the little dog, the life of this. How old is the little dog now? 10,
9
or 10.
9, 10.
You get to go in to a fantastic establishment like the Plum Street Cafe with some great food.
Mhm.
You see some attractive females giving your dad and his friends Budweiser beers, the king of beers. You go to Reds opening day, which is the greatest opening day in all of baseball. You then
Should still be the
second
first
row.
game. Should be the first game, but whatever.
It's fine. Sit second row and get a baseball that you get to take home,
Mhm.
and then go to Twin Peaks to end your night.
Yeah. And then we were like, to get one of these waitresses' numbers, would you give up the ball? And he's like, "I'm 9 years old." No. I'm 9 years old.
Well, you should have asked him to give you the ball, and maybe you give up the ball for one of the waitresses.
Well, I'm not going to give his ball away.
Should have bought it from
That
him.
would be pretty rude.
Should buy it from him.
It would be pretty rude. But one of the greatest responses from a kid that I've ever heard in my life. No, I'm 9 years old. I don't care about that.
Good for him.
Just wait, bro. Just
Yeah,
wait. It's
wait
coming.
about what, 7, 8 years.
It's coming. I don't know about that long. I don't know.
He's
It's
giving
coming
him
a
at
little
least
faster
long.
than that.
Until
It's
he
coming a
at
little
least has a
faster
car.
than that.
Until he at least has a car.
Yeah, but it's coming a little faster than that. But great opening day.
First one I've
You were in
missed, I
Fort
think,
Worth, so you couldn't partake. We missed a lot of our crew, honestly, that
that was
we've
the
had
first
last
one
couple
I've
of years.
missed, I think, since we played UConn up in Albany. We just talked about that game.
Well, I'm now how many in a row now? 5 in a row for me. After never being able to go because I was always on the road with women's basketball. In 22, I was able to go after the Final Four because the season started late.
Yeah.
And yeah, now I'm on 5 in a row. But then there's a fight afterwards. We didn't see it. But people rushing a bunch of police officers. I'm glad we didn't get messed up in all that shenanigans. The story, I think, of the first week has been the ABS.
Yeah.
And on Saturday, the Reds were kind of on center stage of this whole ABS thing, which, dude, as somebody who has scored minor league games, have been.
Were the Reds on center stage, or was CB Buckner on center
Well,
stage?
they both were. They both were. But I've kind of had some experience with the ABS because minor league has used it to test it the last couple years. They've had a pure ABS system where it's just straight computer, and then they had the challenge system, which is what they are utilizing. Of the two, I think this is by far the better system. But on Saturday with CB Buckner behind the plate, there were 8 challenges, 6 of them were overturned, including back-to-back pitches to Geno Suarez.
How embarrassing
And
is
one
it?
of them was over an inch off the plate.
Yeah, how embarrassing is it for CB Buckner, which he's probably been embarrassed the last couple of years because he's got the reputation of being one of the worst umpires in the league. But you ring up a guy on a third strike, give it the old ring him up, punch him out, and you're like, hold on, wait a minute, challenge. So then you got to admit, like, oh crap, all right, ball. And then you ring him up and punch him out again on the next pitch. That was worse than the first one. It was
It's
worse
over
than
an
the
inch
first
out.
one.
It's over an inch off the plate.
So you ring them up and punch them out on back-to-back pitches, and you overturn both of them. What an idiot! An
So
absolute idiot.
you talked about how he's regarded as probably the worst ball strike umpire
Yes.
in the past.
Yes.
Well, guess what? Now we got data.
And the data probably supports that.
And look, these are balls and strikes that are only challenged. So the ones you miss that don't get challenged don't go in this system because there's still going to be some of those. On Saturday, the Atlanta Braves lost their 2 challenges in 4 batters. 8
You all
pitches.
suck at challenging.
They lost their 2 challenges in 8 pitches.
You all suck at challenging.
The Drake Baldwin challenged one in the top of the first as the catcher, and then Acuna challenged one as the batter, and that thing wasn't even close to being a ball. Not even close. So there's a learning process in all of this.
Well, as a manager, let me ask you this. As a manager, like, there's got to be a proper way to tell your players to manage these challenges. Like, if it's the first inning and there's nobody on and 2 out, I'm not challenging anything. I'm not challenging anything in the first 5 innings unless there's almost basically a runner in scoring position.
You better be damn sure.
And you better be even then.
And
I don't even know if it's worth the risk. There has to be some parameters as a manager that you tell your players you're only challenging under these circumstances. Has to be.
From listening to kind of what managers I think a lot of them are filling this out early on in the year before they really put together a plan, which I don't know if that's the right way to do it or not.
Yeah.
But that's kind of got the feel that I've gotten. Yeah, if you're allowing your team to lose their 2 challenges 8 pitches in, I feel like that's not a good usage of your challenges.
No.
And especially after burning 1 in the top of the inning, the fact that your leadoff batter in the bottom of the first uses another one, yeah, I think that's going to be the last time you do that all year, or it should be. But it's a learning process, and I do think this is going to be a good thing for baseball. And it's quick the way they do it.
It is quick. It gets the fans into it, as we saw in Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's exciting.
The fans get into it.
The way they do it, it's exciting and it's quick. And I think it's going to be good for baseball.
It is good for baseball.
But to get back to CB Buckner.
Yeah.
He is leading in incorrectly called balls and strikes with 26.
That's just the one game he did this year?
The second most is he only been he's had to be only behind the plate 1 game.
Right. So 26 in 1 game.
So this must not be challenges. This is just straight up balls and strikes that you've missed. Because he didn't get challenged 26 times.
No, great. You got challenged 8.
So this is just, he's missed, because they've got the box. According to the box, he's missed 26 balls and strikes. The next most is Trip Gibson and Chris Siegel with 19. Then a couple dudes got 16, and then there's some with 14 and all the way down to 5. But now there's numbers out there, CB Buckner, and you the worst.
I think it's been well known he's been the worst. But now, yeah, the data supports it.
And before we gotta talk Gary Woodland, man. And that's why this is the hat that he wore yesterday to win it. He's a Cobra, he's a Puma guy.
Okay.
But we all know the story of what he's been battling. It was well documented on the Full Swing documentary.
Yeah.
And dude's been battling demons. And I mean, just absolutely controlled the tournament. this weekend. I think what his numbers were just trying what he shot. Should have had this ready. But he shot, I don't know, he shot 21 under for the tournament. It wasn't really close. They're walking down the fairway on 18. You see Minwoo Lee pumping the crowd up because Gary Woodland's getting ready to knock in a 7-footer to win the thing, and he could have 4-putted and still won it. But Minwoo Lee's pumping the crowd up. He's very emotional in his post-game interview, as he should be. Dude, one thing that really stood out to me is just how he talked about how proud he was of himself. And
You should be.
but I think we all shy away from being proud of some of the things that we are able to accomplish. And I just think he absolutely should be proud of what he's accomplished because nobody even knows what he's been through.
Right.
Like nobody can even understand it. And he was obviously very thankful for his wife and for his kids for helping him get through it. But and he wouldn't have been able to do it without their assistance,
Well,
I'm
go ahead and
sure.
tell. I mean, there might be people listening that don't know what he's been through. I mean, well, it started with the brain tumor that he had, right?
Yeah, he had a brain tumor and it was benign, so it wasn't cancerous, but I mean, anytime you get a brain tumor, it's a scary thing. And it was
Correct.
it
Yeah.
was really leading him to have a ton of anxiety to
Yes.
where it was affecting his sleep. He was just having negative thoughts all the time. I mean, the brain is such a crazy, crazy
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And it was just his mind was just running constantly, I think, with negative thoughts. And like he was gonna die and just it's just really kind of scary things that can happen to you, with having a brain tumor. And he's been battling it for the last couple of years. I think it's hard, like for him to have energy to get through these tournaments. I think has been a struggle, but just the perseverances he had through the whole thing, and he hadn't won since the U.S. Open in 2019 to win this tournament. I wanted Ricky to win or finish in the top 5 so we can get in the Masters. He sucked down the stretch on Friday, figured out a way to get cut, and so it was all Gary Woodland all weekend for me, and was really cool to see. And if you haven't seen his post game comments, I suggest everybody to go listen to it because it really is. It's a life lesson for all of us. Like no matter what we're going through, like there's always greener pastures on the other side if you just believe in yourself and
Yeah.
keep working hard, and you got to and allow the people around you to support you because you got to have them too. It's
Yeah, and
it's impossible to do that kind of stuff by
he
yourself.
seems to have the respect and admiration of all of his peers on tour. Like you said, you got Minwoo pumping up the crowd, and I feel like everybody in that locker room that if you weren't in contention, which none of them really were. I mean, he won the tournament by 5 strokes. Like I feel like everybody on tour was rooting for him to get this victory. So it's an awesome comeback story, and just like I said, he just seems like a great person for this to happen to.
No, and he was telling a story about him and JT are real close. I feel like JT's close with everybody on the tour,
Just a
but
bro.
him and JT are really close. And I don't. Do you know how they do like feature groups on PGA Tour
Yeah.
Live and ESPN
Yeah, yeah,
Plus,
yeah, yeah,
where
yeah.
they follow him around the whole time?
Yeah.
Well, him and JT are on a featured group, so there's cameras everywhere. And JT, I think, was just like, "Well, Gary, man, how have you been doing?" And Gary didn't want to really talk about it with all the boom mics and all the cameras around. And he's like, "Well, JT, thanks for asking, but I'll tell you here, but I don't really want to talk about it right now." And the next day, they were playing or no, the cameras went away because one of the guys they were playing with like lost his ball or something, and so they finally did get a little separation. And he told him, he's like, "Dude, I'm not doing very good," and was kind of telling him what he was going through. And he said JT bogeyed his next 3 holes and missed the cut. And he's like, "It was kinda on me," I felt like, but, it was important for me that he asked that, and I didn't wanna lie to him and, kinda had to get that off my chest. So, it's, good on Gary Woodland, man, and then Masters coming up in a couple weeks. We got the Valspar this week. This is Ricky Fowler's last chance to get into the Masters, and now it's not a top 5 or 6 that's gonna do it. you got to win the thing. And the way that his approach shots were not approaching on Friday, I'm not very hopeful, but
No,
we'll
I
see.
saw him approach a body of water on Friday.
Yeah, and he needed to get a birdie coming in, and finding a little bitty stream that's 3 feet wide. It's
Not
not.
very
It's
good.
not the best way to go about it.
No, it's not.
They so we're always on our phones,
Yeah.
and there's one
A
fast food
digital
chain.
world. Yeah.
There's one fast food chain that is trying to do something about it.
Okay.
And look, everybody's some people have negative feelings about Chick-fil-A, but one thing about Chick-fil-A is no matter which one you go to in the world, you're always gonna get just amazing service.
Yes, that's what they're known
And
for.
I
Yeah.
don't know what they do because you walk into McDonald's and everybody's like, "Get the hell out of here. I don't know why you're here. We don't wanna give you anything." And then if when they have to give it to you, just take it and leave.
Yes.
And you go to Chick-fil-A and it's just like,
It's a well-oiled I mean, it is a well-oiled machine at the Chick-fil-A. The
but
drive-through, the
how they
tender
get
service, the drive-through, all of it.
yes,
Service always top-notch. It's
it's
just a
incredible.
it's a machine.
It's no matter, and it doesn't matter where you go.
Every single one of them.
Every
Yes.
single one. We nobody's ever not smiling.
Yes.
It's you almost wonder if they're drugged, but
Could be.
maybe we'll see.
They might be
But
robots. Could be robots.
so there was one Chick-fil-A in Georgia
Yep.
where the general manager noticed, like, dude, everybody when they sit in here and eat, everybody's just on their phones. And it ain't just millennials, it ain't just kids.
No, it's everybody.
It's 60, 70-year-olds, it's everybody. Like, we all just spend so much time on our damn phones. So he notices this and he's like, I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna put these coops, these phone coops,
Chicken
on
coops.
every table. It's a chicken coop, phone coop, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna put these on the table, and if people will put their phones in this table and on in this coop while they eat, I'm gonna give them all free ice cream.
Sounds
So
like a good deal.
you encourages the family members to talk, friends of whoever's eating lunch, eating dinner together, to put their phones away, enjoy some Chick-fil-A, and have some conversation. It grew. It's now like this was started at 2 stores in Georgia that he owned. I think now it's up to like 200 stores across the nation. I mean, what an idea. What
It's a brilliant idea, actually. It's an absolutely brilliant idea. And if you were to say, "Hey, guess which fast food chain is doing this?" I mean, the answer is gonna be Chick-fil-A. I mean,
like
they've got the hospitality, the good old Southern hospitality, closed on traditional values, closed on Sundays type deal. So, yeah, they wanna get back to that traditional, don't be distracted at dinner, talk to your family, talk to your friends, you're breaking bread together, have a conversation, get off your phones, and yeah, it doesn't surprise me that this idea would come up from a company like or from a franchise like that, but it's an absolute brilliant idea, and their ice cream is pretty good. I had Chick-fil-A today for dinner, by the way, but it's a very, very, very good ice cream. Little
yeah,
soft serve.
so yeah, I mean, and look, this ain't costing them a ton of money. It's a small price they're paying to get friends and family to talk about their days. Get back to the old school where when I was a kid, dude, we sat at the dinner table, all 5 of us,
When we
every
didn't
single
have
night.
when you were a kid, I don't even think phones were around.
I got my first
You were
phone when
that
I
you
started.
were you were it was a Zach Morris phone?
No, we didn't have enough money to have a cell phone like that. We had the landlines. But I got my first cell phone when I started driving at 16, and that's the number that I still have today, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, like I look back at that, like I just don't think it happens anymore. And all we would all
Well
5 sit at the table and actually talk about
well
school and talk about what's going on.
Yeah, but, like, we didn't have smartphone, like, you couldn't just get on your phone
Well,
back
that's
then.
the point of this, Neil.
No,
I know we get it.
I agree with the concept, but, like, it's just so much easier to want to get on your phone now because you can watch whatever, you can watch TV on your phone, you can pull up the newspaper on your phone, you can check all the sports scores you want on your phone. Back when you were a kid, all you could do was play Snake on your little Nokia.
Right.
Like, like the little
And I
thing
did.
you just
I
shake the
got
ball around.
Dude, I
Like
got
that's what
so
you could
good
do.
at Snake where
Yeah.
it was the entire screen was
Yeah.
just Snake.
But, like, that's
Like,
all
I
you
got
could
good
do
at
on a
that.
phone back then, so, like, of course, people aren't gonna get on their phones as much back then because there wasn't really anything that you could do
There
on your
was no phones, that's why.
There was no phones, and then when the phones came out, there also wasn't that much to do. Now, your phone is basically like a computer, it's a
It's
TV,
not basically a
all of it.
computer.
It
It's
is.
not basically a
It is a
computer.
computer, it's a
It's a
television,
computer.
it's a computer, a television, it's all of it wrapped into the palm of your hand. So it's more accessible, it's more enticing to want to get on your phone now because of all that it can do. But I agree
But
with
let's
the
make
concept of
dinner
yeah.
a no cell phone zone.
So let's make dinner great again. Is that the slogan?
No, I would never do any great again slogans.
Make dinner great
But
again. I'm
I
gonna
will
get you
never
a
do any
hat that
great
says
again
"Make
slogans.
dinner great again."
I had to wear a red hat to be the timeout coordinator at football, and I didn't love even having to wear a red hat.
I'm getting
No
you a
great agains.
make dinner great again, a t-shirt and a hat for you to wear.
I mean, dude, I get to the point now where I put my phone down, and within 5 seconds, I pick it back up. Like, I forget that I just put it back down. Like, that's how obsessed we are
Well,
with our
maybe we
phone.
need to get you a chicken coop to put in your bedroom or your house.
I love the idea.
It's a
And
great
good on Chick-fil-A.
I
I hope
agree.
this continues to grow. Like, it's not gonna grow to other restaurants because
Well,
I
no,
just
McDonald's can't do it because their ice cream machines are always broken, so you can't even get a free ice cream
yeah,
from
they'd
them.
have to figure out a way to work. Yeah, you're right.
You can't McDonald's ain't gonna do it. But
But
I agree with you.
good
It
on
is a good
Chick-fil-A,
concept.
man.
I'm with you. I'm in agreeance.
We don't have any What Would Joe's Do's today. I forgot to ask him.
We'll get one for next week. Oh, next
And
week we can't record on Monday night next week. We got national championship.
yeah, well, and then you got bowling on Tuesday.
That's right. Wednesday.
So we'll
That's
be
Wednesday.
Wednesday night recording next week.
Yeah.
So you got Michigan by 7,
Michigan by 7.
and you've got Connecticut by what?
3.
Connecticut by 1, Arizona by 3.
It's gonna be any buzzer beaters coming this weekend.
And then I think they're both gonna be good games. I'm excited.
Will there be a buzzer beater?
In all 3 or just the Final 4?
In any of the 3?
It's hard to say no because you want it to happen so bad. So I'm gonna go yes.
There will be a true buzzer beater. Okay.
Like I don't know if you ever watched the women's pre-games with Andrea Carter and all them. They ask this question all the time. Will there be a buzzer beater? And they have to do the yes or no for all the questions. And every single time they all chant yes together. So, but yeah, I'm not going to pick no against a buzzer
Okay.
beater.
All right.
Final 4 weekend. It's crazy. It's already down to 4. But the good thing with, the NCAA tournament wrapping up is now baseball's in full swing. So it's not completely sad.
The Reds
Like
don't
when the NFL season ends, you got your college basketball's wrapping up, so there's always something there to kind of help you get through the end of the seasons.
Reds are off to a decent start. They're up 3 straight wins, 3-1 on the season.
How did you do the Reds TV? Did you have to pay for it?
Yeah, $100.
And you had to do the same thing with FanDuel last year, right?
Correct.
Okay, so it's really not that big a deal.
No.
Now I do think the big deal is if you want to watch both, you got to pay the $200.
Watch what both?
If you want to get MLB TV where you get all the games and you want to get Reds, you have to pay the $200.
I don't need to watch the A's and the Mariners or
I feel you, but like
Braves
with
and
T-Mobile you get MLB TV for free, but you don't get the Reds games free because they're local.
Because they're local.
So I haven't done it yet, but I think if I paid for the Reds, I'd have to switch back and forth accounts, which would kind of get annoying.
No,
I don't know.
you can buy them under the same account. You could have it under the same account, right?
I haven't played.
It's all under your MLB account.
I just finally switched to YouTube TV. I made it. I made the switch.
I'm proud of you.
I think I was one of the last remaining people in the city of Louisville with the Still Dues and DirecTV satellite TV. But it's over. And I called the dude on Sunday morning, and I was like, "Yeah, bro."
You were his
Well, I
last
was like,
customer? Were you his last customer? His
yes.
last
And I'm
account?
like, "Dude," I'm going from like I'm saving like over $100 a month. Like this is an absolute no brainer. And he's like, well, you're not. It's all going to be robots and AI. You're not going to get the customer service like this anymore. And I'm just like, look, dude, if
I
it's
don't
that
want to talk.
bad,
I don't
if
even
it's
want to
that
talk to you
bad,
anymore. The
if it's
customer
that bad,
service.
I can always go back. But
How many times did you talk to DirecTV customer service?
once a year, because
Because you
I'd have
threatened
to
to
get 50.
cancel to get your money. You threatened to cancel to get your rate lower?
No, I told them, like, if you don't take $50 off my bill, then I am canceling. And they would do it every year. They would take, but I'd have to call because it'd be good for 12 months. So at the end of the 12 months, I'd have to call every single time. Like, hey, you taking this 50 off? Because otherwise I'm gone. But we are officially YouTube. We are not sponsored by YouTube TV yet.
That poor DirecTV customer service rep's looking for a job because he has no more accounts.
Yes, poor guy. I did feel bad. I was like, yeah, nothing I can do, bro. I was like, they came out this sports pack. It's like $55. He's like, dude, I think you've got wrong information. I was like, no, I do not. And then he looked it up. It's like, oh shit, you're right. Yeah. He's like, they must have just came out with that. I was like, yeah, that's why I'm switching.
There you go.
All right. Thank everybody for listening. Reminder, subscribe to the Height Differential. However you listen to pods, Apple, Spotify, YouTube Music, Amazon. Rate and leave a review. Follow us on social at Height Differential. It's where you get to see shorts of Neil saying stuff 1 week and changing his mind 3 days later, and then it gets ticked off that I posted. It's like, I don't believe what I said anymore.
You
Why are you
posted
just now
something that was
posting
2
this?
weeks old.
Why
It
are
was
you just now
2 weeks
posting this?
old, you idiot. It was 2 weeks old.
It was not 2 weeks old.
It was 2 weeks.
It was not even close to 2 weeks old. Also, just quit being John Kerry and flip-flopping, and we won't have to worry about it, you flip-flopper.
I'm not flip-flopping on
Next thing
Michigan.
we know, we're gonna see you parasailing like John Kerry. Well, do you remember that picture of him parasailing during the campaign? It was like, for some reason, that was really a negative thing, him looking goofy on a parasail.
No flip-flopping on this one. I'm all in on the Wolverines. Go
I'm
Bulls.
glad, because a couple weeks ago you were all in on Duke, so I'm glad you finally decided to. And also, I just want to thank you for crunching ice. Everybody enjoyed
Here,
that as
I
well.
got one more piece left for you.
For the 6-6 deal, I'm the 410 Nick. You've been listening to High Differential. We'll talk to you next week after the national championship game. Yeah.
Give it to me.
Give it
Give it to me. Give it to me. I still got to come up with a new intro. I haven't done that.